Hey guys, this is Nathan Booth, and this is going to be my video for the release candidate of my application. So I'm actually recording this about an hour, maybe 2 hours early because my Wi-Fi connection is completely unreliable right now, and so I'm wanting to make sure I at least get a video up tonight. Um, so this week went pretty good. It's been like a tough week because I have had so many personal things going on with my sister's wedding actually tomorrow. So it's been very hectic. We drove like 2 hours north today, but I've still made really good progress, I think. Much better progress than what I've done the previous 2 weeks. I finally figured out some things, how they work, and so I was able to carry them across my application. You're going to see that the master detail view is used a lot, and that's just because it works really well for this amount of data. But I'm going to go really briefly over what I wanted to get done. So initial character creation, character management, homebrew character creation, and dice roller. So what I actually got done of that is the initial character creation. I'm working on character management right now, which is where you would be able to view your character data and then edit it. Homebrew is not in there and Dice Roller is not there, just because both of those, although I put them in that spot, they really should have been put into the final week. Neither of them are necessary for the app to work. They're just things that would be nice to have. And so I actually ended up not focusing on those. Dungeon display and lore filters. I do have the lore filters working. I don't have the display working yet for the dungeon. I've pretty much primarily focused on getting the lore section working this week and the character creation working. And I finally have both of those working. And so now I am working on the display. Spells and items and database. I started doing that, but then it's something where since other parts weren't done yet, that also is something where it didn't quite take priority. Those are things that need to be done before next week, before it's turned in next week, but they don't take precedence right now. Um, and so those were the things for this week. And although it doesn't sound like I've gotten a ton done, I will show you what I have gotten done. Let me find it. There it is. So, oh, that's right, I was going to do a clean install of it. So, if I click that, what errors do I have? I shouldn't have any errors. I didn't change anything. Um, action search. Oh, ha! I did change something. Sorry about that. I'll just comment that out real quick, and that's going to be the same thing on that one. So I'll just comment that entire thing out. And all right. So click play. Getting motion. By the way, if you don't use this, I really recommend it. It uses a VirtualBox so that you're basically getting an emulator version of an Android device, but you're not having to. Lost my train of thought. You're not having to have the lag or anything like that. So I'm gonna sign up. And you deleted all of my user data so that I could do this. Why am I doing that? Alright. So create account, sign up. It logs me in because it recognizes it. Now, both the dungeons and characters pages are empty right now because I removed those buttons. They're no longer needed. The filters are right here, and I will just show you really quick. It's going to be a little slow because I don't have good internet right now, and for whatever reason I can't get parse to actually save to the database. That's another thing that's on the list of things to do. But as I click on these, you see all these. The tables need to be fixed. Originally I was going to parse this through SQL. so I would have been able to handle that. I'm going to probably just switch all of the tables to being um, to being images instead of being text tables. And I think that'll be the good way to do it. But it grabs the hit die. If you play, you know that determines your health. Grabs what your skill points would be for that class. And it has everything for them on there. And it's a lot of data, as you can see. And it's still a bit narrow to read it all, so I might end up actually removing what's the placeholder for the image right now, simply because it's something where the text is more important than an image. But all of these work, they all change it. This is all stuff that was loaded in from the database. So if I go back, then I have filter feats. I can filter the feats and see them. Now what I'm wanting to add within the next week, so before the end of the class, is actually have a filter button up here where you would be able to do a more in-depth filter of what it's displaying to you here. So you can filter all general feats maybe, or you can go for meta magic feats instead of just having all of them here, because there's 110 feats here, and that can kind of suck to go through. You have your races, and you'll see this list again later, almost identical. And you have your skills. You have 45 skills, and this goes through and explains all the different things about them. So pretty happy with how that turned out. Like I said, I'm gonna go more in depth with this. This is gonna have spells, and it's gonna have items, and maybe long term it might even have like manuals in here. But for now, this is what it has. I do need to go through the text and fix some of the text that's being loaded in, because it'll have like references to the book still. Like, oh, if you look on page 35, you'll find this. Well, since we're using an app, there is no page 35. So now if I go in here, I got rid of the search button because it really wasn't needed. Logout still works just like it did before. You can add a character or a dungeon. You've seen me add a dungeon before. I'm going to add a character now. So I'm just going to I'll just do my name. Why not? And I'll be level 11. Continue. I'm a human. You can see it looks through all these, and the button actually is changed with that. This is all a fragment, so the button actually is changed. I'll go with a human. Well, no, I'll go with a half-orc just because it best demonstrates part of this. So you can go through, you can see the stuff. It tells you what happens with a half-orc, what features you get, what size they are, all of those things. Choose and continue. So now I choose a class. Half-orcs typically are good at barbarian, so I'm going to go with a barbarian. Once again, this is the same thing you saw earlier. It's just it loads it separately. Choose and continue. So here is where you determine your abilities. This is going to look a little bit different by next week. Nothing's really themed yet, and might have like your health determined here as well. I'm definitely going to have a dice roller in here to roll these scores if you want. Right now I just have it where it says, you know, put in 3 to 18. Definitely going to also make it where you can't go below 3 or go above 18 right there, because it takes some of the coolness out of it if you can break the system by just typing in 19 or something like that. So I'm a B, so I'm going to go with 18 for that. I'm going to go with 14 for Dex. Constitution is going to be 16. We're just assuming I rolled relatively well. So what you do for these rolls, by the way, is you roll 4 what's called D6s for each one of these stats. And you roll them before choosing where they go. And the 3 dice that are the highest numbers in each roll is what you add together to get this number. And so intelligence, I don't need to be smart. So I'm going to go with 13. I'm a relatively quote-unquote smart barbarian, I guess, but not too much. I'm going to go with 12 there. And we're going to go with 14. Actually, let's make... I'm a little bad here. Well, let's make it 10. 10 for both of those, 14 for that one, and 15 for that one. So I'm going to want to have it where you can roll in the app, and it will just give you the numbers. Not input the numbers, just give you the numbers right below it so you can grab them from that. So now what I have is a calculate values. You can see it tells you, since he's a half orc, right, I get 2 to my strength, and I get -2 to my intelligence, and -2 to my charisma. And so what that then does, that adds on top of these values. It has 10 subtracted from it, and then it's divided by 2, and that's how you get this number over here. And this actually is a good set for showing what it ends up being. This is what you add or remove whenever you're doing like a roll for a save. Not for a save, for like a skill that determines on these things. So whenever I'm attacking, for instance, I will add 5 strength to my melee attack because that is my modifier for strength. But continuing on from there, I now have this where I can say my gender is male. I'll put in my actual age. I'm 20. I am 6 feet tall. I weigh about 200 pounds, somewhere around there. We're just gonna go with chaotic neutral here. This will be probably drop down, same with the deities, where it actually gives you some info, but once again, kind of a thing that's not as high on the priority right now. Deity, we'll just, for whatever reasons, we'll just put Flying Spaghetti Monster. And that's actually why you do want this to be a drop down, so you can make sure they actually choose a deity that matters. I am Nathan. I develop things. I'm a half-orc, remember, I'm not really intellectual whenever it comes to actually saying things. So then you click Save Character. It asks you if you want to save or not. You can click Cancel, and it'll let you go on your merry way. You can even go back and go forward. It actually clears everything. Whoops. We'll just go through this real quick then. Sorry about that. Didn't realize it would clear that. So that's something to fix. But, so if you do save, right, alright, if you do save it, tells you that save successfully, and it goes back to the character screen, where once the load and display stuff is working, you will now have a nice button here that is your character information. So if we go over into parse, somewhere around here, somewhere, maybe, what the heck? I'm guessing it got minimized. Sorry about that. Yep. So if we go into the parse browser, you can see there's nothing here right now. You have classes, feats, races, and skills. I'll refresh that. It's going to give me, I now have a new user because I signed up, and I have a new character. Age 20, chaotic neutral, Nathan's here for backstory. Has all of my things that matter here, so it has both my actual charisma and my charisma modifier, so for all of my abilities, has the actual base ability and then the modifier. What I probably should do is have it where it records that ability with the race on top of it, the racial traits. But pretty exciting whenever that finally worked for the first time. I spent a long time trying to get that to work. So, that is pretty much my app right now. I know it still kind of sucks, but it's getting there. And that makes me happy. It finally has progress, and the last few things left to do, I don't see necessarily taking very long to implement, um, because I've already gone through the hard parts of this app. So I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, before I go, I should talk about user testing. I tested with 3 people that one of them is the DM for my group. 2 of them are people that are wanting to be in the new group. Now, obviously, I didn't have everything working, and so it was kind of more of a partial test of them going through, trying to break things, giving me feedback on the interface, and things like that. Overall, they're pretty happy with what I've done, so that's good news. Um, Anyways, I hope your guys' week went well. Um, and I wish you all luck on this final week. We've made it. Now we just need to finish it. So, good luck. Thank you for watching my video. Bye.